Good morning, students. Today we will discuss the topic barriers to communication. Barriers to communication. As we all know that we need to talk from one another for different purposes, but sometimes we feel that the listener is not giving us the correct feedback and it is the result of some barrier. This may be a misunderstanding, this may be a noise or some other reason. Imagine a situation like you are a junior executive who has just returned as a trainee in an automobile company. You go to meet your boss to seek permission for visiting the automobile exhibition being held in Delhi. While you are talking, two of your colleagues also come in to get the boss's signature on some bills. You fall silent while he signs the bills. After they leave, you resume talking but find that your boss has not really grasped what you said earlier. You later analyze the situation and realize that your colleague's intervention led your boss's back off concentration. So there was a lack of concentration. So you can analyze the situation that while talking with others, if you are talking to someone and some other entry is there, so you will be unable to understand, or sometimes it also occurs that you forget what you have to say if somebody enters there. So this can be defined as an interruption, this can be defined as noise. So this interference causes a barrier in communication. So, all of us have come across situations while communicating with parents, friends, colleagues, just as we realize the importance of certain resources only when there is a shortage. We become aware of the importance of effective communication only when there is a breakdown in the process. So, one point which is noticeable here is that communication is effective. Communication is effective only if it creates only if it creates only if it is creates the desired impact on the receiver, the desired impact on the receiver. So to make our communication effective and impressive, we must give a desired impact into it. Otherwise, it is a miscommunication. So many employees fail to listen attentively during meeting or to send incomprehensible business letters. Such situations arise due to inadequate communication skills. So, before discussing it clearly, we must know some important points to remove these barriers. That what can we do for it? Number one, if your communication fails to evoke the desired response, the following 5 steps will set you on the right path. Number one, identify the problem. Identify the problem. Number two, find the cause. Number three, work on alternative solutions. Opt for the best solution. Follow up rigorously. So these are the factors we need to define. Identify the problem. One must know that why he is not getting expected feedback. He must try to know the cause and Now he must work on the alternative solution. Means how can you remove it? Opt for the best solution. If there are 2 or 3 solutions or more solutions, so your duty is to select the best one and follow it rigorously. Means make a continuous effort to remove your barrier. So before starting in a detailed way, we will define first what is noise. Yes, what is noise? An interference in the message sent and the message received leads to the production of noise. The term communication barrier, or that which inhibits or distorts the message, is an expansion of the concept of noise. Noise here does not mean cacophony but a break in the communication process. If noise occurs because of technical factors, it is a smaller problem as it can be removed by correcting the technological faults. However, if the noise is due to human error, the parties involved in the communication process need to take corrective measures. So, what is a noise? Noise is something unplanned. Noise is unplanned, unwanted, hindrance. So what is noise? Noise is an unplanned barrier, unwanted, undesired barrier. Now we will classify the barriers at different levels. Classification of barriers. Classification of barriers. We can classify the barriers at 3 levels. Number 1, intrapersonal. Number 2, interpersonal. Number 3, organizational. So we people generally talk at these common levels, and all these levels we can face the different barriers. The first level at which we face the barriers is intrapersonal. While understanding the levels of communication, we have understood it properly that what is intrapersonal communication. So all these barriers which occur at this level are known as intrapersonal barriers. Interpersonal barriers, when we talk with others, with people, among people, between people, and while communicating with others, whatever barrier we face are known as interpersonal barriers. Yes, just opposite to this, there is intrapersonal barrier. The barriers occur in your mind when you talk with yourself. Organizational barrier. Organizational barriers, the barriers which occur while talking with the people in an organization. Yes, so as we already know that an organization is a multi-layer of people. There are lots of people who talk together for different purposes by different means of communication. So they find out lots of barriers. They feel problems while getting a correct response, while getting complete feedback from others. So we just have divided the barriers at these 3 levels like intrapersonal, interpersonal and organizational. So first we will discuss about this first one, intrapersonal barriers. Individuals are unique because of their idiosyncrasies. This is mainly because of differences in experience, education, value and personality. Each of us interprets the same information in different way as our thinking varies. Certain common causes are responsible for the individual's inbuilt barrier. Inbuilt means intrapersonal barrier. Intrapersonal which occurs in yourself. So we say it inbuilt barrier. The causes that lead to interpersonal barriers are intrapersonal barrier. The first is intrapersonal. Intrapersonal barriers are as follows. Number one, wrong assumption. Wrong assumption. Number two, differing background. Differing background. Number three, impervious categories. Number four, varied perceptions. Number five, wrong inferences. So we will begin with wrong assumption. For wrong assumption, we can take one example, that when a doctor tells his patient that he has to take a medicine only as source. We are talking about a discussion between a doctor and a patient. Actually, the patient is illiterate, but when the doctor sees that his patient is quite well educated, because he was not looking as illiterate, so he preferred the medicine named sauce. Yes, without knowing whether the patient understands the term or not. He is creating a barrier in this communication. Here, the doctor has made a wrong assumption about his patient's level of knowledge. Wrong assumptions are generally made because the sender or the receiver do not have adequate knowledge about each other's background, or certain false notions which are fixed in their mind. Sometimes the speaker does not realize that backgrounds, education, and experiences of different people can be different. A skilled communicator keeps these issues in mind to prevent them from becoming barriers. In order to strengthen your skills as a communicator, try to put yourself in the shoes of the listener. This exercise will prevent making wrong assumptions about the receiver. So here we are saying that wrong assumption means that if there are two people, one is sender and one is receiver, the sender does not know the mental level, the education level of the receiver, and without knowing all these things, he starts talking without knowing the knowledge level of the receiver. Yes, why this wrong assumption occurs generally? If we do not know the knowledge level of the receiver. Yes, without knowing, without the knowledge of his background, without knowing or knowledge of his language. So these are the things which occur due to wrong assumption, means when you assume wrongly about somebody. Yes, so first, what we need to do to remove this barrier, we must understand the educational level, the background, the culture, the language, etc. Yes, another is varied perception. So varied perception is another barrier which occur at intrapersonal level. We all know the story of the six blind men and their description of an elephant. The elephant is perceived by each man as a fan, a rope, a wall, a sword, a snake, and a tree. None of the blind men is wrong, as the part of the elephant body touched by each man was compared with various objects. This is how an individual perceives reality. Similarly, individuals in an organization also perceive situations in different ways. Let us take the case of an alternative or altercation between two individuals. If you are close to one of them, you are likely to be biased. You may perceive your friend's arguments as correct and hence may not be able to appreciate his opponent's viewpoint. It is all a matter of perception. The best way to overcome this barrier is to step back and take a wider perspective of the issue. So here we are talking about a story that there were 6 men of Verona, 6 men who were blind, and they touched body of an elephant. So the different people touched the different parts of an elephant and they defined them differently. The trunk was like a sword, the stomach was like a wall, the legs were like the trees, and the tail was like a rope. Yes, and the trunk was like the snake, and the ear was like fence. So we are just proving this fact that we all see the things differently. Suppose you are reading in the classroom and the teacher is using the blackboard, so somebody will say it's a green board, somebody will say it's a writing board or blackboard or whatever. So there are lots of definitions of the things according to our perceptions. We think differently, we see the things differently. That's why we give different definitions to different objects. So to remove this type of problem, what we can do, we must see the things in a wider perception. Yes, so a wider perception, have a wider perception. Have a wider perception means whatever we are seeing or whatever we are defining the things, we must accept others also because we think differently. Yes, so if, we must accept the fact that if we are saying something, giving something a definition, another person is giving a different definition, but both may be correct because both are thinking differently, but the reality is same. Yes, so we must accept this issue. Now, differing background. Differing background. Differing background is another issue which occurs as a various. Suppose you are attending a group discussion or you are working in a group and you are 5 or 6 members there in the group. You belongs from different areas and cultures, and you people have different languages and cultures. That's why there is no coordination among you people. Yes, and the reason behind is different background, differing background. We can understand again it. No two persons have a similar background. Even siblings differ in their genetic inheritance. People vary in terms of their education, culture, language, environment, age, etc. Yes, financial status also. Our background plays a significant role in how we interpret a message. At times, sometimes, or something not experienced by you earlier plays a significant role in how we interpret a message. Yes, so think of a class where the professor talks about his rock climbing adventure. Those students who have had the experience of trekking may be able to appreciate the professor's talk, but others who have never trekked before may not find it interesting at all. A computer company representative would not make such sense to a group of doctors if in his presentation he goes into detail about the hardware aspects of the computer that he plans to install. To enhance your communication skills, it is necessary to know the background of your audience. You can accordingly use that information to construct your message. So, identification with other person is the solution of this barrier. So, how can we come over this barrier? Just by identification of background is the solution of this barrier. Another barrier, that is wrong inferences. Wrong inferences means conclusion. When we conclude something wrongly. You have returned from a business trip. Yes, I am just giving one example. You have returned from a business trip and you find that two of your colleagues are absent. They do not turn up for several days. Since there is a recession on, you draw an inference that they have been laid off. The fact is that they have been promoted and sent to another department. This is an example of fact inference confusion. It has happened because you failed to distinguish between what actually exists and what you had assumed to exist. So, inferences are more dramatic than facts, and for this reason, they give more scope for gossip and rumor to thrive. Inferences supported by facts are essential for professionals when they analyze material, solve problems, and plan procedures. Systems analysts, marketing specialists, advertisement makers, architects, engineers, designers, and other must work on various premises and draw inferences after collecting factual data. So go on the facts, don't assume, don't take a wrong conclusion. Yes, so when presenting any inference in the course of your work, you could use qualifiers such as evidence suggests or in my opinion to remind yourself and the receiver that this is not yet established as fact. So wrong inferences means when we take a conclusion without going to the facts or reality and we give a conclusion. Another is impervious categories. Impervious categories. Impervious categories means in general we react positively to information only if it is in our consonance with our likings, okay, with our own views and attitudes. Conversely, when we receive information that does not conform to our interest or habits or attitudes appears unfavorable to us, we tend to react negatively or even disbelieve. I mean to say that impervious category includes those type of people who like the information which they like only. They receive the information which matches with their interest and they leave that information which does not match with their interest. So this category includes the people who goes to informations which match with their interest or attitudes and they have a negative interest among the things or in things which they do not like. So rejection, distortion, avoidance are three common undesirable negative reactions to unfavorable information. So the result of impervious categories means people who have this category may be rejection, distortion, and avoidance. Yes, these are the very common features which can be seen among the people who are under this category, who just reject the things, distort the thing, avoid the things which they do not like. Another barrier, which is categorical thinking. Categorical thinking, we can define it like people who feel that they know it all. They know it all. People who think that they know it all are called pansophist. Pansophist. The people who think that they know everything, so they don't need to learn anything else. These are known as pansophist. And the people who have no interest among the things which do not match with their interest are known as misogynist. Misogynist and pansophist. These are two categories of people. Uh, Pansophist means this type of thinking exists among people who feel that they know everything about a particular subject and therefore refuse to accept any further information on the topic. For example, in a general body meeting of your organization, you are to be briefed about the annual budget. However, you do not pay attention because you feel you have already been known to this fact. So, categorical thinking and impervious category, these are the two categories which must be known to all. The people who think that they know everything, they never listen to the people very actively. And some other barriers are there. The next level at which we face some barriers is interpersonal barriers. So, another level is interpersonal barriers. This is the second level on which we face lots of barriers, and the reasons behind this is inefficiency in communication skills. Interpersonal communication means when we talk with others, among people or between people. So, if we are not getting the correct feedback or complete feedback, there may be a reason like inefficiency in communication skills. And number two, negative aspect nurturing in the environment. Negative aspect nurturing in the environment. If there is negativity among the people or in the environment, you can't get the correct message from the sender. Okay, some other reasons are there like limited vocabulary. Limited vocabulary and cultural variations. Number three, incongruity between verbal and non-verbal message. Verbal and non-verbal message. Number four, poor listening skills. Poor listening skills. Number five, emotional outburst. Emotional outburst. And number six, noise in the channel. And communication selectivity. Communication selectivity. So we will begin from this first, interpersonal communication. Most of the times we see a situation when we lack words, and this lack of words make us unable to give a complete message, and the same occurs with the receiver. if you are using lots of words, you know very well them, but your listener does not know their meaning, or he has never uh, used those words. So either the sender will be unable to send a complete message due to this limited words or vocabulary, and the same problem may occur with your receiver too. If he do not know the words sent by the sender, he will be unable to give the complete feedback. Another problem may be with your culture. If the cultures of the people involved in communication process is different, like the sender and the receiver both are from different cultures, they will be unable, or they will have a negative perspective for both the people. So there will be a miscommunication, or there will be a negativity in the communication process. Incongruity means difference difference between verbal and non-verbal message. Means you are using the words, you are using uh, kinesics, means body language, your facial expressions. So you are when we talk with others, we use two languages, means we use words and we use our expressions. And if there is a difference between the words and expressions, this problem is known as incongruity, means difference between verbal and non-verbal messages. So if you are giving a message but your facial expression does not matching with your verbal message, so there will be a miscommunication, means your receiver will misunderstood your message. Another is poor listening skills. Poor listening skill is also a type of barrier. Suppose the listeners are there in the class, and some of the people are listening and getting its meaning, but some are unable to listen properly because they have no skill of proper listening. They are listening passively, not actively. So in that way, they are not giving the complete feedback. Emotional outburst. Emotional outburst is another barrier in this interpersonal barrier. Means when you are disturbed emotionally, or you have some problem, so your mind is not working in the classroom or while talking to other people. When you are disturbed or emotionally disturbed, you feel yourself unable to concentrate on the message. That's why you will be unable to give the complete feedback. And the same thing like noise in the channel. Means suppose you are talking with your boss upon some very difficult or serious issue, and suddenly somebody enters in the room, so you forget for a while that what you were discussing with your boss. And next is communication selectivity. Means suppose you are reading a newspaper and you are just going to the columns which you like only, and you are leaving other columns which you do not like. This is known as communication selectivity. As we have discussed in intrapersonal communication, there was one category, categorical thinking, in which you were selecting the information which matches with your views, attitudes and likings, and you are leaving the other information which do not match with your attitude. Yes, students, so the last level on which we are going to discuss the barriers is organizational barriers. The barriers which we face in an organization. In organizations with many levels of communication, messages have a greater chance to being distorted or being distorted. This occurs due to poor listening, lack of concentration, or a person's tendency to leave out part of the messages. So generally the organizational barriers are the result of poor listening, lack of concentration, and a person's tendency to leave out part of the messages. Tendency of leaving parts. So we can see, or we can conclude that an organization has lots of barriers, like We can say that there are lots of transfer stations, like too many transfer stations. Number one, too many transfer stations. Number two, fear of superiors. Negative tendencies. Use of inappropriate media. Information overload. Okay, so we will discuss here. In an organization, you can see there are lots of people at different layers having different designations. They talk from one another for different purposes. So there are too many transfer stations which are used by people working there. Too many transfer stations means too many medias, sources. Yes, they use lots of things like, for example, telephones are there, intercom communication is there, messages are there, emails are there, WhatsApp is there, notice boards, circulars, agendas, and reports. So there are lots of means of communication. Too many transfer stations, but it is up to the sender that which medium he is selecting, which is the best medium. Suppose he is using too many transfer stations, means if he is using lots of sources for single information. Suppose your boss is calling a meeting and he is giving this information in a meeting, and the same thing he is giving in the circular, the same thing he is telling you upon the by using the telephone. So every time he is changing his words, every time he is giving another information, because he is giving the same information by using very lots of mediums of communication. So every time he's forgetting something to give you. So sometimes he is adding something new, and sometimes he is deducting the information. So what is better for that person? To use one transfer station only, one medium of information, not lots of information mediums for single information. Another is fear of superiors, means you can see that in an organization there are seniors and juniors and every category of people at different ages. Okay, so what happens with the people who are very new there, who are the newcomers? They have just fear, they have hesitation to express their views. And what occurs then? They feel some barrier. They never get a complete or good feedback from others because they give incomplete information due to the fear. So fear of superiors. Negative tendencies. Negative tendencies means when you are not positive towards the informations given to you, you give wrong feedback, you give incomplete feedback. So negativity is also a barrier. Use of inappropriate media, as we have discussed here, that if there are lots of mediums of informations, we must select the one and which is the best. Okay, so the same thing we can see that use of inappropriate media may result in a barrier to communication. So what we should do? We must see the objective or objectivity of information or of message. Only then we must select the medium. Okay, first we should know the objectivity or nature of the information, then we must give it by selecting the best medium, not inappropriate. Inappropriate means which is not suiting or fitting to the message. Information overload. Information overload means we can take a very simple example. At the time of your examinations, you people have lots of things to learn. Okay, so what we should do to avoid these things? From the very beginning we must learn everything just to avoid this overload. So information overload may also be a barrier in your organization. Suppose you are working somewhere, your boss is giving you lots of work within a limited period of time to do over that. So what you will feel the lack of hours, and you are seeing that there is a dump of files on your table. So you are unable to decide which work you must start first and which must be started the second. So information overload is a barrier in an organization. Okay, students, so these are the barriers which you face at three levels. Intrapersonal levels means when you talk with yourself, when you think, when you assume, when you take a wrong conclusion. Interpersonal barriers, when you talk with others, and you can face lots of problems like lack of words, lack of concentration, lack of proper listening. Yes, or negativity in the environment. Another is organizational level, where there are lots of people. So there you face the problems like having too many transfer stations, fear of superiors, negativity, inappropriate media, and all. Okay.